Dr. Hovind, I love your doctoral thesis. I've torn it to pieces with Howes and Garforth. I can't remember when I last pissed myself laughing. It's a good thing the thesis mopped the piss off the floor.
Welcome to part 37 of this read-through and peer review of Kent Hovind's doctoral dissertation, which was published on wikileaks.org on December the 9th, 2009. If you have not seen the first episodes in this series, then I recommend that you go back and see those first, as in this episode I will start off exactly where I left off in the last. In the last episode, Kent tried to demonstrate that there is no evidence for evolution. He did this by quote mining the hell out of Stephen Jay Gould and Niall Eldredge. With pickaxe in hand, he continues his quote mining in this episode. In his review of Stephen Stanley's book, Macroevolution, D.S. Woodruff said, "Fossil species remain unchanged throughout most of their history, and the record fails to record a single example of a transition." Really, Kent? Once again, Kent, this is a quote mine from a quote about punctuated equilibrium. Shall we hear that quote in full? Here goes. Darwin and most subsequent authors, including G.G. Simpson, have held that most evolutionary transitions occur within established lineages by phylogenetic gradualism, guided by natural selection. But fossil species remain unchanged throughout most of their history, and the record fails to contain a single example of a significant transition. Similarly, it is difficult to account for the greatly accelerated pace of evolution during periods of adaptive radiation. An alternative model of evolution, that of punctuated equilibria, introduced by Niall Eldredge and Stephen Jay Gould in the early 1970s, more fully accounts for these same observations. You see, Kent, what he's saying there is not that there are no transitional species. What he's actually saying is that transitional species seem to lend themselves more to punctuated equilibrium as opposed to gradualism. Gradualism being where an organism gradually evolves over time. Punctuated equilibria being where an organism will suddenly rapidly change in reaction to a rapid change in that organism's environment. But carry on. There is no evidence in the fossil record for evolution. Really, Kent? I think you may just find that the fossil record as a whole is, in fact, evidence for evolution. That is one of the reasons why you are presently not a single-celled organism, although I suspect that your brain may be. But to go on. In a Newsweek article entitled "Is Man a Subtle Accident?" November 3rd, 1980, it is said that the missing link between man and ape, whose absence has comforted fundamentalists since the days of Darwin, is merely the most glamorous of a whole hierarchy of phantom creatures. The more scientists have searched for the transitional forms that lie between species, the more they have been frustrated. Really, Kent? Kent continues, there have been no missing links. The entire chain is missing. Kent, are you seriously telling me that you consider Newsweek to be a credible scientific source? Let me give you a clue, Kent. Serious scientists don't publish their work in tabloids. As stated before, that you cannot see the evidence is no concern of mine, but when the evidence is laid out, it is most undeniable. But I'll let you continue. Evolution is a religion. Yes, Kent, no matter how many times you keep putting that sentence in there, it's still not correct. It does not fit the criteria of science. Yes, it most certainly does, Kent. It is not observable. Yes, it is, Kent. There is no observation for evolution in the past or in the present. Yes, there is, Kent. Stephen Jay Gould says, in Natural History, The Return of Hopeful Monsters, the fossil record with its abrupt transitions offers no support for gradual change. All paleontologists know that the fossil record contains precious little in the way of intermediate forms. Transitions between major groups are characteristically abrupt. Once again, Kent, an excellent, punctuated, equilibrium-based quote line. What Gould is saying here is that transitional forms are scarce, while certainly not absent, and that their scarcity is down to the fact that changes between species, between organisms, are abrupt and not gradual, and therefore there is less chance for a fossil to be formed from a transitional form because the transitional form isn't around for very long. For instance, if species A is around relatively unchanged for 10 million years and then its environment suddenly changes and it evolves over the period of maybe 500,000, maybe 1 million years into species B, which itself remains relatively unchanged for 10 million years, we are more likely, much more likely to find fossils of species A and species B, which were around for 20 million years when put together, than we are for the transitional form, which was only in existence for maybe 500,000 years. It's simple, really, especially when you know the science. We go on. If the definition of science is observation, classification of data, and experimentation, where is the observation for evolution? Kent, you've banged on about fossils for so many pages now. Maybe you should go read up on them. And before you dismiss all the fossil evidence, let me also point out that there is so much more evidence in so many other fields of science that also back up evolution. Even today, scientists are seeing organisms adapt, evolve to fit their changing environment. Let's hope that in this 10 years that you're spending in prison, that you take that opportunity to read a few books. Good books, not the kind of book that you colour in with crayons. No, Ken. Something that is more relevant to the bullshit that you keep spouting. But we go on. Evolution is a religious faith. No, Kent, it's not. We've been over that before. If evolutionists want to believe in evolution, they are free to do so. Yes, Kent, and if you want to believe in talking snakes and donkeys, people who can fly, and zombies who can do magic, then you're also free to do that too. But carry on. We live in America, which is a free country. Well, I don't. I think you can tell that from the accent. We are free to choose what we want to believe. Yes, you are, Kent. It doesn't make it correct, though, does it, Kent? What I am upset about is the fact that their faith is being taught as science in the public school system, at my expense as a taxpayer. Once again, Kent, never had a statement been made that is quite so erroneous. You keep banging on about this point, as if we're supposed to believe it. But Kent, we all know that you don't pay tax, do you, Kent?